Kitchen Show, where every week we'll be cooking up some fun recipes to help you succeed in business. Our guests will be sharing time-tested and delicious business recipes, as well as some new cutting-edge ones. Every recipe has a story, and every chef adds their own unique flavor to the dish. Just like each business strategy has its own story, and owners work hard to make their mark. Here at the Business Kitchen, you can be sure to find your own recipe for success.
Welcome to a fantastic new episode of the Business Kitchen Show. Here at the Business Kitchen, we encourage you to look for the solution outside the traditional recipe box. I'm your host, Natalia Levy, and I'd like to welcome my co-host, Tatiana from Sarasota, coming in. Hi, Tatiana. Oh,
Hey,
it's so good to see you,
going?
my friend. Wonderful.
You as well.
So, a word to our listeners, make sure that you really pay attention to this episode. We always have so much value that we deliver, we pack in, and remember the conversation continues on our Facebook page at the Business Kitchen Show. Before we dive into the delicious content of today's show, we'd like to thank one of today's sponsors, Fast Ship Face Mask. If you need a mask, use Fast Ship Face Mask. Now they have tons of summer styles and prices start at just $6.99. Ships within one business day from Florida. Now we did check them out and their reviews are great. It is incredible how many satisfied customers they have. Go to fastshipfacemask.com to get some for yourself or your business. And let's stay safe, everybody. Now I'd love to bring on our guest to our show, Natia. Natia Everett is an entrepreneur.
Hello.
Good morning,
Hi.
Natia.
Hi, Tatiana. How are you? Hi.
Welcome
going,
to the
ladies?
show.
Hi. Thank you so much for having
is an
me.
entrepreneur. Natia is an entrepreneur who is teaching others to improve, grow, and monetize their Facebook groups using various methods such as challenges. Now, Natia, so your biggest area of expertise is online digital marketing strategies. Now, many small local businesses struggle, with where do they start in the online world? And it can be overwhelming. And when we think of the word challenges right now, especially now where, businesses are struggling with challenges such as, well, how do we pay our employees and how do we pay rent and how do we get sales? So how do we think of the word challenge that we are being in an online digital marketing world? We're used to hearing about challenges, but how do most business owners can relate to the word challenges? Can you share a little bit about that?
Sure thing. So I want us to take the word challenges and, turn it on its head, because the type of challenges I'm talking about here are really impactful. They are full of a sense of community, and they are just such a wonderful way to bring, massive groups of people together. And it ends up benefiting the people who come together in the group, and it also benefits you as the business owner. So when I'm talking about Facebook group challenges, that has nothing to do with the actual challenges that people are facing today in this pandemic. It's a different sort of challenge. So it's a way
that's
Natia,
yes. Yes, go ahead.
what does that process look like for a business owner trying to create a challenge?
Okay, so the challenge framework, it definitely does have a process. And so you want to think about basically your end result. So if you have a course, if you have a program, if you have an ebook or anything like that that you're trying to sell, then you want to basically frame out your content day by day to fit the course or the program that you're trying to sell. So you're basically teaching little bit by little bit each day that you're in the challenge, and you're challenging people to a micro win. You're challenging them to a micro goal to accomplish. And each day that they accomplish that goal, they post it live and share it within the community. And, by the time you get to the end, there's this win that people achieve And then they're able to see the value in what you do. You've built up the know, like, trust factor within this challenge. And now that you have this community, they're ready to move on and continue working with you. So this is what I mean by challenges.
You just made it really nice and clear. So I have done a multitude of challenges in my last probably 7 or 8 years. Just
Mhm.
as I feel like they've really become popular in the last few years in the online digital marketing world, and I've done some that either get us health results or some that get us some sort of get on TV results or whatever the results are. So when we think about framing a challenge for a business, what kind of, and I just gave a couple of examples. So from what perspective can business owners, for example, somebody who owns a real estate company or a pastry shop, how can
Mhm.
they start thinking and wrapping their mind around creating a challenge for their business? Because they might say, well,
Yeah.
I'm not a coach. Why would I want to have a
Mhm.
challenge?
Right, right. So I totally get what you're saying. So as long as your business has some type of online component, even if you're a brick and mortar store, if you have an online component, you can do a challenge. I have seen real estate challenges, and it'll be a small goal, like teach you how to win, 5 clients in the next 5 days or something like that, right? And so by the end of that challenge, yeah, so by the end of that challenge, they'll, pass on to you their course, or their trainings and things like that, their paid programming where they show you their exact, framework for doing that. But throughout the challenge, they're teaching you, small ways to, get to that win, like I was talking about earlier. So yeah, this works with real estate. This can definitely work for that cupcake shop, because maybe every day within the challenge they could teach a different recipe or something like that, right? And then towards the end they could sell a book of recipes, or also invite people to their website, and invite people to their shop with social distancing and things like that. So it's just a new way of all sorts of businesses to kind of bring people back and bring back that sense of community to business that people are looking for today.
That's really great to know. So
Uh-huh.
just to follow up on that, so is the idea of the goal of the challenge? Can you a little bit expand on that? Is the goals is to grow a community, grow a following, or is the goal to ultimately sell something at the end of the challenge? What, as a business owner, what should I think? Let's say and I loved your example about the cupcake shop, but what if
Hmm.
I don't have anything to sell, and I own a
Oh,
store and I sell dresses? So how
oh.
can I think of what is the goal for me to run in the challenge?
So, like I was saying, for anyone who's online, basically could find some way to frame a challenge around this. I have not seen any in particular. There are lots of e-commerce stores that are starting to do this. For instance, I came across a
Mm,
challenge where a woman was selling, where she was teaching how to make resin coasters. And at the end of the challenge, she
okay.
sold her frame, the actual molding that she created for these types of resin coasters. So,
Wow.
it's just about being creative. I'm sure that some
Mm,
influencers and some e-com shops might find a way to do maybe some styling trainings and things like that, or just something where they are, again, demonstrating the products, building a sense of community, like, all at once. So you spoke about what is the end goal for the business owner. They should think about this as a way of building community to get to that future sale. And that's what I want them to think about. It's not always
mm,
about the sale first, because people don't
right.
necessarily care for that these days. People want the
Mhm.
connection first. And once they build that connection with you, then they're ready to pull out their credit card. They're ready to pull out, that almighty dollar to spend with you. But you have to prove yourself in this day and time. You have to prove yourself first.
Hmm.
And Natia, what would you say the best way to promote these challenges would be?
So you can do it organically, but I will say honestly, the best way is to do Facebook ads. I don't know if you all have seen, you know, some of the biggest challenges that just recently happened, like with Tony Robbins, for example. So there are lots of people out there who are promoting their challenges now through, yes, organic marketing, of course, challenges right within their regular Facebook group, because some people will create a special pop-up group just for that challenge so that some of their members as well as new outside members can come into this particular pop-up group and have this challenge together. Because again, the challenge framework is so different than any other type of face group environment. You actually get to go live and be on camera and do things that you can't necessarily do in a regular Facebook group. So yeah, this is just a really powerful way to build a sense of community and belonging and support for your people. And then, like I said, you work them to that point where they are ready to work with you by the time that challenge is over with. So,
Well, that is great explanation. So, to sort of reframe what you have said is somebody would have to create a challenge on Facebook using a Facebook group. Is that correct?
so it does work best on Facebook groups. I have seen
Okay.
a few people who have used some other platforms for their challenges, or for their group building, but it does seem to work best on Facebook. I'll just be honest. I guess because so many people are already right there, it's just a lot easier. And like I said, they can see your ads, and that community is just right there. The targeting, it just makes everything so much easier if you just stick with the Facebook group. But the best thing is, by the time you build this community, you can pull them off of Facebook into other areas, right? You can pull them onto other platforms where you are. If you're on YouTube, you can pull your audience over to YouTube. If you're on, Pinterest or Etsy or what have you, you can pull your new audience that you just built here on Facebook, and you can have them follow you wherever else you go. And they're willing to do that because of the sense of community that you built inside of your challenge.
Natalia, I've actually seen some businesses nearby in Sarasota do in-person challenges. I've seen
Yeah.
restaurants and gyms do the bingo challenge where for a
Oh,
restaurant you have to order, these things off the menu, or you have to get a takeout, you have to get, this cocktail. And then for gyms, you have to go to certain classes, you have to
yeah.
meet with certain trainers, and I see that it actually works out pretty well for them also.
It does.
Yeah,
You're
so
right.
this is a
It's
great point because the challenges can be done. I know that you specialize in creating Facebook groups and talking about challenges on Facebook, but Tatiana just
mhm,
made a phenomenal point that if you are a business like such as a gym or a restaurant, don't feel that you can't do this because somebody has to do it on Facebook. You can do challenges in person, you can do challenges through Instagram, you can do challenges
yes,
potentially through your LinkedIn page. Just think of the
yes,
platform where your customers are finding you most, and then cross
that's
promote
right.
throughout various different platforms, right, Natia?
Exactly, exactly. And like you were saying, you can cross promote on those different platforms to bring people over if you care to do it, just in the Facebook group because that's what you're used to.
Mhm.
You can cross promote on, LinkedIn and like you said, Pinterest and things like that and bring people over there. But yeah, Tatiana is so right. This is starting to grow. A lot of people are noticing how well these
Mhm,
challenges are doing, and they're starting to do more small local challenges as well.
mhm,
So yeah, I've been looking for some too because I think they're just really fun. And lots of people are looking for this type of
mhm,
thing today because they just really want to be a part of something that's
mhm.
positive, something that's a positive experience that has nothing to do with what's happening today, right? So,
Mm. Well, this is
And it
such a
also
great
helps
point
you stay
because
accountable too.
yeah.
yeah, and it's a great point because it also creates this sort of a fun environment. So I get to, number
Mhm.
one, connect with a whole bunch of other people. And number two, I get to
Hmm.
participate in something very engaging. It
Ooh.
almost feels like, it's a little bit of competition sometimes,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's
Hmm.
also sometimes it's competition with others, sometimes it's competition with yourself, but it also
Yeah.
fun and engaging and you
Yes.
can think of different prizes. Are there prizes that
That's
can
right.
happen throughout the challenge?
Yes. So actually, even in my last challenge, so you normally do daily prizes for people who participate the most. So the people who are the most active, who show up live to your challenge training for that day, the people who actually post their assignment for that day, like I said, go live as often as possible, share their wins, encourage others, jump in on other people's posts and encourage them, things like that.
Mhm.
They win daily prizes. So this could be a small prize too. It could be, a $10 Starbucks card. It could be $100 Amazon card. It really just depends on how deep your pockets are, really. But yeah, I did little $15 gift cards, $25 gift cards, things like that. The challenge before that, I did up to $100 gift cards, and they were for anything from Chili's to Amazon. So it can be whatever you want it to be. And it's just a really great incentive to get people involved and get them going live again to really be active in that challenge.
Natia, can you give us some other tips that a business owner can try to grow their Facebook group aside from challenges?
So yes, and this is something that I am working on right now in my Facebook group right now. Is just talking about all the different visibility strategies that are available right now. So as we talked about before, getting off of Facebook is one really great way, right? Like maybe moving over to Instagram, because we all know that there are some amazing ways to get found in Instagram stories and, you know, um, visiting people in the DMs if they just view your story, if they like your posts, things like that. And I also teach, just almost like the welcome series. I teach people how to create different welcome series for people so that when they stop by, if they look at your post, if they like your post, if they follow you or anything like that, create this welcome series where you welcome them into your community. You let them know that you're just there to answer any questions. If you have a Facebook group at that time, you welcome them into your group, etc. But this is a great way to get the conversation going and to get that relationship started. And so then people are less apprehensive about working with you because they're like, oh, well, that was such a nice thing for you to do. And I've been able to, start converting people who have just been viewers on my stories to actual, oh, now they're liking posts. Now they're following along on my journey because, and they're viewing even more of my stories because I've started doing, like I said, a type of welcome series where if they even drop by on my account at all, I pop over there and I welcome them. And I've been doing this on Instagram and Facebook, and there are just so many other platforms out there. Like I was saying, we know that there's Pinterest. There are lots of gung ho women on Pinterest who are doing amazing things. So there are tribes and everything over there where you can bring some people over to your Facebook group as well. There's a whole YouTube
Yeah, this is
community.
this is some really, really great stuff. Nitia, you are blowing our minds here. I think that everybody listening are just completely taken by this information. And I bet everybody wants to put their creative hats on and start getting on challenges, creating challenges with their team. Natia, where can people find you and learn more about you and what you do?
Okay, so you can just come to my website. It's my name, natiaeverett.com. And, I also mentioned I do have my Facebook group as well. It's just called Facebook Group Growth Hacks. That's a long name, but if you just stop by my site or anything like that, you'll be able to get in touch with me directly and I can help you, find your way to those other things. So yeah.
That's terrific. Thank you so much, Natia. You were
Thank you so
absolutely
much.
brilliant. Thank you so much for being on the show and sharing the
Thank
hacks
you.
and sharing all the creative ways that businesses can create more connection with their customers. They
Yes.
can get their teams involved. They can have so much fun with
Yes.
this, especially
Right.
as you had mentioned about um, it's about getting creative. It's about thinking
Yeah.
outside the traditional recipe box, which is
Mhm.
the what we talk about on this show all the time. Natia, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, ladies, so much for having me. I really appreciate
Thank you,
being here
Natia.
today. Thank you.
Tatiana, what do you think? Now, do we want to help our customers and our listeners come up with some ideas for challenges? Join us on after the show at the Facebook page where we can come up with have a conversation and maybe help you brainstorm some ideas. What kind of challenges can you run for your business? How can you get more creative? Think about what kind of prices. Maybe that's something that prizes that you can do. Maybe something, connect with other businesses and do a challenge, like a whole block challenge, right?
It's a good idea. I
Now,
honestly go out of my way to find challenges myself.
yes. Do you, right? So it's fun. It's creative. Now, as I have had a wellness education company and I've ran a whole bunch of challenges, I've run cooking challenges. So think about, as a business, what kind of challenge that you can come up with that your audience would like. Maybe survey your audience, like, hey guys, we want to do something fun and creative, and give them a couple of ideas and what get people engaged. This is all about creating that connection with your customers so that they know you, they trust you, and they love you, and then ultimately they pay you for your products and services. Now, we are so grateful to you for tuning in and watching the show today, and would like to thank our sponsor for today's show, Tatiana, real quick.
Healthy Intent inspires you to live a healthier life. It's so easy to bump health down the priority list, behind the business phone calls, family commitments, and let's face it, anything else, until we are diagnosed with something that forces us to make a change. Their online cooking academy has incredible classes that will help you to make a significant progress in your kitchen, whether cooking for yourself or your family. Subscribe to Healthy Intent YouTube channel for quick tips and more fun recipes. We all want to look better, feel better, and have more energy for life and business. Start every day with Healthy Intent. Follow them at healthyintent.com.
Thank you so much. Until next week.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Business Kitchen Show. Tune in each week for saucy interviews with business owners and to pick up
Nice
fresh
work.
ingredients for your business success. The conversation continues after each episode on the Business Kitchen Show Facebook page. For the full show menu, visit businesskitchenshow.com.
The opinions expressed on the